Vaughn. I'll be reading some poems from my collection, Going Out and Being Normal. I'm really, I'm really honored to be here. Today I was here last month because of a friend, Mary Lana, and I was invited back. So I'm excited to read a few poems for you from the collection on the themes of loss, and also, I don't often write about race, but I have a couple of poems that are related to race in here, so I'll end with those as well. And it's really hard to hear poetry out of context, so I'll tell you a little bit about each poem before I read it to you. So this first poem, I don't think it needs any explanation. The title is Poem of Forgiveness for a Family Member Who Wronged You. You told me you'd wish I'd never been born. I carry it with me, I carry it in my heart. Family is tricky. On a good day, we sit silent as Jeopardy melds into Wheel of Fortune. On a shitty day, I am wished out of existence by someone on whose mind depends. Family be like, put some strangers in a 2.5-bedroom co-op, try to make it work. That's your father, your cousin, your grandmother. Blood can be a scapegoat for words thrust as violently, as accurately as foils. It's still really weird to hear applause for poetry. This next poem is called Fear of Falling, and it was written because a member of my writing group, Jared Harrell, who's a fantastic poet, gave me this last line. This poem is about figure skating, but I think it has some other deeper meaning that I haven't figured out yet. Fear of Falling. Figure skaters dance to the dance of the sugar plum fairy, their inertia maintained by slight wiggles at the hip. I cling to the edges, stiff legs gripped by a fear of falling, failing to let myself glide to skate as if dancing. Skating requires a kind of innocence like children falling in heaps just to lie there out on the ice, or audacity like hockey team teenagers screeching to a halt. I want a return to the me I used to be, to sail, to keep time knowing. This next one is called Mother in Her Skin. This poem is dedicated to anyone who's lost a mother. Mother in Her Skin. This dyke on the train has a tattoo that reads, "Hey honey, it's mom, I love you, see you soon," in a cursive like a permission slip signature, emblazoned on the ashen skin of her inner forearm. She reads it every now and then in her mother's voice. I read it every now and then in my mother's voice. You read it every now and then in your mother's voice. Live on, the mother in her skin. As you can tell, I write short poems, so prepare for that. This next poem. So the poetry collection is divided into sections. This section is called Notes On. All of them were written with the Notes app in your iPhone, right? So all of them had stems that came out of that, and then they were kind of completed later. This is Notes on Carrying a Bouquet of Flowers on the D train, dedicated to my friend and soprano, Michaela Kirchner, when I was going to see her sing Lucia for the first time, her first main stage role. Even I start to wonder where I'm going. Bearing a thoughtful gift or cliche apology, I bring the soft, wet buds to my face and smell them deeply. Would you hold me where cheap plastic wrap and rubber bands meet neatly trimmed stems? These next two are the last ones, and they're paired together, both of them. They're both called Poems About Being Black. One is for myself, and one is for the market. I'm gonna read for myself first, and then I'll read for the market. Poem About Being Black for myself. Being a person of color is a series of moments. In America, we have to consider each hurdle might be the result of generations comprised of very bad days, Or maybe it's just as simple as wrong place, wrong time. And this next one, poem about being black for the market. I wrote this in the midst of the first Trump presidency, and I never imagined how much worse it could get. And this is a really hard one to read because it's just only gotten worse since that. This is a poem about being black for the market. Something about Emmett Till. This soaring chord of a gospel choir refuses to resolve, and still I rise. My grandmother tells me once again of the early 1940s, when she was made to eat her ice cream on the stoop like a dog. Black Lives Matter. In June of 2023, Students for Fair Admission, Inc. successfully sued Harvard University to end affirmative action. And in Florida, it's time to move on and stop tarnishing the lily-white history of a nation. In state after state, statue after statue will be removed. A bronze-plated Theodore Roosevelt, accompanied by a Native American and a Sub-Saharan African, was taken from the front steps of the American Museum of Natural History because its composition suggested a racial hierarchy. How to be an anti-racist. Dismantle a statue. Leave a commemorative plaque in its place, atop a pristine patch of concrete. Thank you.